All right. Let's go. Let's get into this. Let's do this. All right, is this it? We have nothing written down.
We do have some questions written down. Don't think we didn't, try to do this show today, right? I mean...
Wait, why are you looking? Are you...
He's recording. He's been recording this whole time. Oops.
We didn't start the show like we normally start. Like, hey, everyone. Hey, hi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Craig has had 4 gallons of coffee, so this show should be good fun.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I think he's a sloth. You are not nervous.
I'm so scared right now. No. Thanks for tuning in. We've got an excellent show for you. It's a borderline show today. Not going to lie.
It's not a borderline show. It's actually a good show.
Hypothetically, we're recycling an old show.
Why you gotta tell on us like that?
Because I'm an honest person. Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. So what are we doing?
Sorry, everyone. So go ahead and tune out. I think there's a better clip. I think there's some clickbait right over in this region over here, or
I'm
maybe
so
in this
making
region.
John cut this out. I just want to say that.
All right. John! Where's John at? I get scared when I don't see John in the doorway. There he is. There is no John, everyone. We just made that up.
Uh-huh.
We're in my basement right now, our new studio.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, here's what we're going to talk to you guys about today. We're going to talk to you about the difference between closing cost and prepaid expenses. Nicole, why is that a big deal?
This is important because if you're working with a lender that you don't normally know and you're like, hey, how much do they need in closing costs, which is what most of us say, and don't say the prepaids part, it could come back with a number that's basically half of what they need. And then your buyer ends up paying more money that they didn't realize they had to pay.
Yeah, and if you are at all not 100% confident in what we're saying, make sure you ask your managing broker because this is important.
Yes.
And they're on the hook for it. So
well, especially in this market right now, it's really important to know what's in actual closing costs and what's prepaids.
Okay, so give me an example. Nicole Hansen, of a closing cost.
Closing costs would be like the lender origination fee. That's a closing cost.
Okay, excellent. Mm-hmm. Excellent. What about a prepaid?
Prepaid is like your 1 year of homeowner's insurance. I can't even talk today.
Excellent. What about a 2-month tax credit? Or
well,
for the buyer side.
Credit, so that's not.
Well, for the buyer side that they're receiving from the sellers.
Or
I'm sorry, the fee that the lender is charging the buyer for 2 months of taxes. It's a prepaid, I guess is what I was going for. Mm-hmm. But that's front loading their escrow account if they are going to escrow their taxes and insurance in their payment.
Yeah, so the easy way to look at it is prepaids are things that the money that hasn't been used yet that's paying for future services, and closing costs are what they're paying to actually close the loan. So that's kind of the big difference between the two.
Yep. I like it. Closing costs are something you're getting charged right then and there. Mm-hmm. Services rendered. Prepaids are something that you are paying in advance, but you're front loading the account or whatever.
Yeah, so make sure you're having that distinction with the lender, especially if it's a newer lender or one you haven't worked with, just because that gets dicey. They'll give me a number that's 1%, and I'm like, are you sure that's correct? And they're like, well, yeah, that's only closing costs. Well, what about all the prepaids too, right? So yep. I hate it because I think lenders should know, we mean and prepaids, but we don't say it. So.
And I will tell you this, I almost hate that we have to do this. It is the right thing to do, quite frankly, but earlier on in my career, I made the mistake of just saying, hey, my buyer needs 3% for closing costs or something like that. The lender fees did not exceed 3%. So
ouch.
My buyer could not get the extra amount because I didn't write the contract correctly.
Yeah.
So you'll learn the hard way. You only learn that lesson once, thankfully.
Yeah, and your buyer's like, why didn't I get to use all that money? And the seller gets a nice credit back, and you're like, well, you couldn't use all that money.
Yeah. Oh, it's because I messed up. Doesn't go over well.
Or if you're doing an inspection response and now you have credits and things like that, you do need to discuss with your lender, can your buyer actually use them? Because that is true with certain loans. You can't go above 3%, 6%, whatever it is.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. I would caution any agent that writes an offer when their buyer's going to have financing without having a conversation with your lender yet, or the buyer's lender.
Yep.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Don't do that.
You should have a conversation with them. And
what if you don't have time? What if it's like a sign call showing, you show them something in a weekend and they buy it and you don't know them before then?
It depends. I mean, I've been around a long time, so I can probably figure those numbers if I have to, but I'm going to assume they need closing costs and prepaids if I can't get a hold of the lender. You can look at their pre-approval, but some lenders put the closing costs in there, some don't. It really just depends upon the lender, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I guess in a perfect world, you'll have that time to talk to them and find out. If you don't, you're rolling the dice.
You are rolling the dice.
And I think if you have to roll the dice, that's fine. But clearly explain those expectations to your client and to the other agent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be careful what you say to the other agent.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I think every broker probably needs to talk to their managing broker and find out what they can and cannot say to the other side. Because I don't look at the other side as the enemy or anything like that. I mean, we're both doing something to get our mutual clients' objectives met.
In the middle.
Achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
We got to work together, right?
Yeah, but
at the same time, you can't say certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to give away negotiating power. And you can definitely do that with closing costs and prepaids for sure.
Like I'll say if a buyer wants out of a contract after the inspection, one, the contract does not allow that. That's not prepaids versus closing costs, but
no, it's
one
not.
of those things. You talk to your broker.
I was going to say, are you going on a tirade?
Don't tell the other agent that the buyer just wants out. Don't ever do that.
Yeah. So I think basically the big thing here is knowing what closing costs, prepaids, miscellaneous expenses, what can be credited from the seller to the buyer and what cannot, how much, and where your lines are at with how much money they can actually use. So it can be complicated if you don't have a lot of experience.
Ow.
Or you haven't talked to the lender ahead of time. Did you hurt yourself over that?
I kicked my shin hit the table. You guys don't need to know that. John, this table's very abusive.
Is there anything else?
I got kicked by the table.
No. He has to be smarter than the table, that's why.
I have to be. I know.
Uh-huh.
This table just stands here.
Exactly my point.
Way smarter than this table.
I don't know about that.
I could walk and chew gum at the same time.
Ooh, you can?
Well, I mean, not at the same time. But.
So I think that's the whole show because we don't have anything else written down. You guys need to get on him because I want to do that realtor safety class and I want to beat him up in that show.
That was fine. That was my bad. Yeah, I thought John or Nicole were handling that.
Or
and
anybody
turns
but Craig.
out I was handling it. So
because he's supposed to handle guests.
Yep.
I have uploaded YouTube videos. Our YouTube channel is
live
live
guy's name?
now.
Do you remember the guy's name?
Why you got to put me on the spot like that? You know I don't remember names really well.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. John will edit this out.
So poke at him and say, dude, did you get the realtor safety? Because I want to like beat him up in like a realtor safety class.
I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow it.
That's what he says. I don't believe him. So vote. Do you guys all want to see me beat Craig up in a self-defense class? I think that would be fun, right?
Oh, that's
Raise
fun.
your hands,
Everyone's
yes.
I would vote for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, hello, you're doing it. That's all I got to say.
Well,
it's like the under the eye mask.
I wanted to, but John said his insurance will not allow such a display to take place in the studio. So
it won't be in the studio.
Everyone.
It's at the other place. We got to get that hooked up.
Yeah, it's all John's fault. My bad.
No, it's all Craig's fault.
Thanks, John.
He's afraid I'm going to beat him up.
No,
it's fine.
John.
It's fine.
It's unacceptable.
He's going to have a black eye and
Hold
stuff,
on.
and I'm going to break his arm.
We still have not given enough information. We're just now...
Oh, I thought we were at the end because we didn't write anything else down.
No, there's still more to talk about. Okay, so I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to ask me, give you an example of the closing cost and prepaids thing, how we can use that in the contract. And I would say in further conditions, you can write in there. And again, this is our opinion, and you could talk to your managing broker to verify. But you could put in further conditions something like seller to provide 3% towards buyer's closing costs / prepaids / down payment assistance. You can put, that's kind of like a catch-all in case the other two don't exceed the 3% amount.
Down payment assistance? No, I put miscellaneous expenses.
Well, here's the thing. When you say miscellaneous expenses...
That covers the rest.
Yeah, not necessarily. If their expenses do not exceed 3% or do not come to 3%.
That's why you have to have that lender talk. Almost everybody can use 3%. Almost.
Well, I know, but I've seen 5% and I've seen as high as 6% closing costs concessions. So if that were to be the case, and let's say a $100,000 house, they can get up to 6% or $6,000. Let's say closing costs only come to 3% or $3,000. There's $3,000 there that the seller agreed to pay for the buyer, but if you don't have something there that's an expense, it doesn't happen. But then you could do a principal reduction, which is also known as a down payment assistance type thing.
I've done that with miscellaneous.
Yeah, and a lot of lenders don't allow that. So you
I was gonna say, you
almost
can't
got
call
to check with that
down
lender.
payment. Down payment assistance. I don't think.
Well, it is. It's down payment of their loan. So you're paying down their loan.
Yeah, it's principal reduction.
Well, it doesn't. It's synonymous. Thank you. That means the same thing.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one.
We're not going to disagree.
We are.
I mean, we are going to, but we're going to agree that I'm right. So.
Nope.
Yep. We'll agree on that. Okay. Good. Moving
No.
on. Number 3.
We already talked about all this, didn't we?
Number 3, blank. Number 2, blank. We're not doing a top 5 this time. We're just talking about closing costs versus prepaids. What's the difference? How to explain it to your buyer? How do you explain it to your buyer?
Exactly like that. Closing cost prepaids.
You kind of don't. If you talk
It's
to
a
the
lender's
lender,
job.
Yeah, if you
for the
talk
most
to the
part.
lender and you know what the lender wants to do, that helps.
But you will get those questions asked by the buyer because a lot of times I think lenders are just like anybody who's been in the business a long time. They use a lot of big words. They
buyers
over-explain
do?
stuff. No, the
The
lenders.
lender? Okay.
Yeah. And so when the buyer's asking questions, they come to you to be like, what does this mean? Look at my closing disclosure. Why is this dollar amount this way? And then I'm like, ugh, you got to go back to your lender.
Those words you're using are huge.
What?
You just went on a rant for like a minute and did not use a single big word.
So?
You said your lender always uses big words, and then they say all these things.
All right, folks. He can go on his tirade earlier, but I can't go on mine.
I'm sorry, folks. I was just.
Whatever.
This show is boring me so much. I had to try to bring in some kind of energy to it.
Yeah, he's super funny. Like before we get on camera, and then he gets on camera, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
I get
can't
nervous.
do this show today."
I get so scared.
Uh-huh.
Where's John? He's not even in the hallway.
Nope.
I need an adult.
He said he's done with you.
Yeah, there he is.
I am the adult in this scenario.
He just said, "Knock it off, kids. Knock it off." I think we're older than you, John. Yeah,
Pretty much.
by a lot. He's like, "What do you mean think? You're way older." Yeah, I got you.
You can tell by the bags under our eyes that he's younger than us. Whatever.
See, weren't you hanging out with my son a year ago or something like that? Yeah. No.
No, it was Jared.
Oh, Jared. Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. He's got more followers. We should tag him. Maybe we'll get some of his audience.
Yes.
He's probably way cooler than us, though.
We know a really cool TikToker from the area.
Yeah, he probably does cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike us.
He's like, I'm not having some nerdy real estate agent show on there. You guys talking about leads?
You guys don't even dance on
I
your
did the
your
Alec
show.
Baldwin's thing. The leads are weak. You could do a Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. No?
I don't know any of that stuff.
Okay. All right. It's
I
only a
don't know
great
names.
sales movie, but whatever. It's a classic. But whatever.
All right. Tracy Van Gundy, I'm going to call you out again. Gotta come get your bookcase. I don't know, girl. I'm going to have to call you.
This is the Tracy Van Gundy beat up show.
It is. TVG. Come on, girl.
All right.
That's all I got.
Yeah, closing costs and prepaids are pretty simple. Talk to your lender. Make sure you know exactly what you're trying to ask for and things like that. And if you're even close to not 100% sure, ask your broker. Talk to your managing broker about it. That's a big, costly mistake.
Okay.
And a lot of times, because here's the buyer's expectation, right? We're not done yet. We still got to fill more time.
I am hearing you, but I'm not believing you because I think you're just repeating
But here's the
yourself
thing.
at this point.
Okay, well, the buyer's expectation, when the buyer says, I want my closing costs paid for, their expectation is at all the closing costs. And you and
prepaids.
We all know, right?
Yes.
Right? Because, they don't differentiate. The buyer doesn't differentiate in their mind. They just know this is what I expect. That's where we need to kind of step in and be able to educate them. Plus, if I'm representing the seller on a property, I'm not going to take... I've seen a contract come across before where it says seller to pay all buyers' closing costs. All buyers' closing costs? What about discount points? What if they could buy their rate down, and that's you could buy 10 points and get a lot of well, I wouldn't see that many in that thing ever, but you could buy the rate down.
What? Oh, sorry.
Oh, she's never even seen discount points because she's only been in the market post-recession, not pre-recession.
Whatever.
Yeah. So
no,
you don't have to buy a rate down when it's 3% rate.
I feel like you're just kind of like beating a dead horse at this point.
I would too.
What?
I would
Shut
too.
up. Cut this out, John. All right, we're leaving. This is it. The show's over. I'm thinking, yes. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Number 4.
No, we'll see you guys next Friday. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next Friday with a non-recycled show.
Sorry, Craig was blabbing
when Nicole
forever.
has more time to participate in the writing of the show.
And upload all the back end stuff and do all. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, check out our YouTube channel.
John does all of it.
That's not true. Good try, though.
And check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, yeah, we got a
our
podcast too.
Yep.
How many? We've got 40 million followers on Spotify now. Was that right, John? Oh,
Is it
we got to
4?
carry. We got to carry the zero or move the decimal point a couple of times. I'm not great at math.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yes.
true. But I think we're at 400 million, but I'm not sure.
Are we even following it ourselves?
Not yet. I mean, I'm not going to jump in early. I mean, I already know what I'm saying. Why do I got to follow me?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, look,
Whatever.
I just posted something. Why do I need my phone to tell me that? All right, so
That's it, guys.
we got
Please.
a podcast. We got we're broadcast into space right now. So if you're on another planet, you can see our show.
This is painful at this point, I think.
I know. Well,
Why are you still talking?
I think the show's already over. I think John already stopped it a while ago. The camera ran out of batteries like a week ago.
He ran out of room because you just wanted to talk today. Are you good now?
Yep. I'm done.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Peace.